Hey there guys, it's Brandon and Colton here, and for today's video we were talking about the Wii U. So Colton, you said you just got the Wii U, so how are you enjoying it?
It is very, very good. I enjoy the interface of the touchscreen. I enjoy the console itself. It is just fantastic.
So how would you convince another console user such as a PlayStation or Xbox user to switch to the Wii U?
Well, it all depends on what games you like to play. For example, if you're, been hit in the head too many times and like Call of Duty a lot, uh, you're you're probably not going to gravitate towards this as much. But I've seen people play Call of Duty on this, and it looks exactly the same.
Now, what games did you get with it? You told me you got the Nintendo Land and
Yeah,
Assassin's Creed 3.
I got the deluxe model, so it came with everything that you needed for the console plus Nintendo Land. That's fun.
And how does Assassin's Creed 3 play on it so far?
Um, it, Not really sure. It just somehow draws me in.
How does it integrate the tablet feature of it?
Each mini game for Nintendo Land uses a different style of the pad itself. Like sometime for the throwing star one, you turn it on, and you flick the touch screen. On another one, you use it just to turn around and stuff, and you tap it to shoot at stuff. The Pikmin one I noticed was it gave me a lot of hope for Pikmin 3 when I saw that how you move around, and then you could just use the touchscreen to throw a Pikmin at stuff. And that made me think, oh my god, they're going somewhere with this. This isn't just a game. This is a preview of what's to come.
So Nintendo's also really pushing its Nintendo Network and the Miiverse. Any thoughts on the Miiverse?
Let's just say I stared at the Miiverse screen for a good 20 minutes just looking at the random stuff that was popping up in all the drawings.
How? So what do you mean? Like, is there like hubs to see like?
It's you take it and you'd go on the tablet. It would show your home screen with all of your apps. On the TV itself, unless you swapped it around, which you can, but usually on the TV itself, it shows each game, the most popular games being played right there, the most being played at that moment, and then under it, groups of people, and then random pictures will show up from random people of how they're just. It's like posting on a Facebook wall, for example, except with pictures and words. And it'll just show and be like, "Oh my god, this game is so fun."
So, as for the touchscreen, is it multi-touch or is it just singular capacitive?
It's it's just singular. It doesn't really need to be multi-touch. It could open up more doors if it was, but it really doesn't hinder anything.
And it does have a camera. What does the camera actually do for the Wii U?
You can do a voice chat and a video chat on there, where it's pretty much Skype through the Wii. So instead of doing just the Xbox thing where it's using the Kinect or using the headset, this thing comes with the camera and a microphone on the controller itself to use right there. It's awesome. Except I have no friends.
And I also saw that it has a TV control button. What does that do? Does that just bring up a remote control? I mean, does it have a full remote on it?
This is going to explain my experience to you. I'm setting up the Wii. Just imagine me sitting there, just setting it up, and all of a sudden it's like, would you like to hook it up to the TV? I'm thinking, oh, it's just going to want me to calibrate it. I type in the kind of TV and all that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, change the volume now. What? This is amazing. And then it turns out that was something that was heavily talked about. I just missed somehow, but it's still awesome. I managed to change the TV settings because little bastard brother lost the remote.
So you also talked about how you QR codes. How exactly do you scan those in?
You would the you put up a QR code on a piece of paper or the computer screen, for example, and then you just hold the camera over it. And while you hold the camera over it, to give you a basis of where you're looking at, the TV shows the camera, like what it's looking at, so you can kind of move it around. I still had a hard time with it and couldn't really get much out of it, but if it's on the right surface or something, I tried it on a computer screen, for example, that's probably not going to work in the first place. But I kind of got it to work at some point, but kind of gave up on it because it was just me.
So is it backwards compatible with older Wii games?
I'm not positive on the GameCube ones, but I know it's backwards compatible with any Wii accessory in game.
So by Wii accessory, do you mean like I could use all of my motion remotes that I already have for the Wii on
As
this
long as they have a
device?
Wii Motion Plus on them, you should be fine, along with nunchucks and everything. Basically, the way it goes is that all the apps on the screen are normal, and then one just says Wii, and I was wondering what this was. Well, if you put all of your information from your old Wii on this one, you just copy it over. It's pretty simple. Haven't done it yet, but I'm going to. But you click on that, and it basically brings up the old Wii screen and what it looks like with all of your stuff on it. And then you just kind of go through that from there, and it comes with the sensor bar and everything for the Wii U.
Now you had talked about how there was a microphone and that you could plug in a headset to it. Does the controller itself have any sort of speakers?
The controller does have speakers, but they're very weak. I mean, unless you turn it up all the way in a quiet room, you're not going to hear it that much. But it does add to the game, but sometimes it can create an echoing effect, which is kind of annoying. But it's worth it at times where you can be used properly, and you can plug in headphones that work really well.
So, do you think there's any? What are you looking to pick up next for game-wise for the Wii U? Is there anything that really shoots itself out at you?
I was thinking that just regular Mario Brothers. I mean, it's the same. It's pretty much the same game every time, but except it does offer somewhat new things. It's just fun. I mean, you just have fun with it.
Yeah. You said you got the deluxe edition. What does that come with?
It comes with everything it should. You know, the cords and everything, and the HDMI and the tablet controller and everything. The only difference between is pretty much the size, and it comes with Nintendo Land, a bigger hard drive, which doesn't really matter because you can plug in any USB storage.
Yeah.
And
what's
it's black.
Okay, and what is the size of the hard drive that it comes with?
32 gig.
Okay, and is that how? For most gamers, that would not seem like a whole much. How do you think that's justified by Nintendo to only give you 32 gigs?
Well, because I looked at my Assassin's Creed 3. I brought that game. We'll talk about that at a later date. But I looked at the save file for it. I think it was around 60 megabytes for the whole thing, where on Xbox it'd be almost 2 gigabytes probably.
Yeah, very easily, about 1.8 actually. And another big thing for gamers is not necessarily for you or me, but graphics is pretty huge. How do you think this compares to, say, the 360?
Well, like I always say, graphics don't make a good game, but really bad graphics can ruin a game. But typically on this, I notice I'm not one who's like, oh my god, the resolution there is awful. Oh god, I'm gonna write an angry letter and call everybody a faggot or something. I couldn't tell you, but it still looked. It's either on par or better than the 360. Because I mean,
so you think it's better than the 360?
I think this thing is better than the 360 within the first 5 minutes of turning it on. It's more the interface itself. Like I said, I stared at the Miiverse screen for 20 minutes, and it doesn't even do anything but flash up pictures that other people drew. That's
because you've been a 360 gamer or had a 360 for how long?
When did that come out? That was since they came out.
I think it was 07 or 06.
Yeah, since it came out, I got one like 6 months after it came out or so, and it pretty much from there because it was like because the thing about the Wii, you could get Nintendo games for it were great, of course, because they always seem to have some kind of golden touch. Except Wii Music, that's their Virtual Boy and Power Glove of this generation. But it was Call of Duty and first-person shooters never integrated well, but with this, it's an Xbox controller, and it works. It'll have everything an Xbox or a PlayStation has, if not, just make it better because of that touchscreen.
Now, the controller itself, how do you think it looks pretty huge, and it would seem like it'd be pretty heavy. How does it actually feel?
Very light. It'd be like holding like one of the DS XLs.
Really? So it was almost.
I held it up, and it was shockingly light.
So have you tried out any of the core apps, such as like the internet browser, and how do you think those?
The internet browser, I dare say this, works just as well as one would on your computer. Just great.
So you think it's on par with a computer browser?
Yeah, I mean you can watch a YouTube video and flick it up on your TV screen while you use the tablet itself to browse through more websites or vice versa.
So like I could be watching a YouTube video and on my Wii U tablet screen I could be seeing different tabs open and still navigate the web, yet be watching wow. That's pretty impressive for a device that's only been out for what,
since
6 or 7 days?
Yeah, since Sunday.
And I know it's been in development for a while, but I mean internet browser, that's always being updated and upgraded.
Like literally if you didn't have like a computer or something somehow in this day and age, I don't know how that even happens anymore. Or even like the most standard models, but this thing could literally replace your browser. I mean, it's that good.
So, back to Nintendo Land. What are some of your favorite games or mini games in that game itself?
Well, my number one favorite is the Legend of Zelda one, where I can only do very few things on there because I don't typically like people around me. Shockingly, I'm not much of a social butterfly. But the single player mode for the Legend of Zelda version, which is the Battle Quest, you run around holding the Wii controller in your hand, the touchscreen controller, and you with the controller and then flick back the right stick and then let go of it to shoot arrows. It was very. I played that game for an hour and a half. It was just addicting to play.
So now to the basis of this whole thing. If another person is thinking about buying this, say I'm thinking about buying this, would you say it is worth the price? Because the deluxe edition comes to about $350, which is not a very small amount of money for many people. Yeah. Would you say that this console is worth that price?
I would say it's very much so worth this price. It was, I mean, think about when the Xbox and the PlayStation 3 came out. Their Xbox was $400 to $500. The PlayStation 3 was $700 for some reason. I think somebody took too many. I'm a Advil or something. I don't know. I'm an idiot. But that you're basically paying for a console that is substantially, to me, better than those for half and then a quarter of the price.
So you're saying that, yes, definitely this is worth what it is.
Oh, definitely. I mean, if more people give this thing a chance for first-person shooters, because I know that makes up the market for some reason. I don't know why it's stupid, but... I mean, I played, like I said, Assassin's Creed 3 on it. It ran just as well as it would on Xbox, and then it had some substantial things that were thrown onto it that made it a bit better on Wii U.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope, I believe I've given my 2 cents on the whole console itself.
Okay, well, that wraps it up for today, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will talk to you all later.